I light a candle to our love.
Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now this is going to be a vinyl update today, and basically I'm just going to show all of the records I purchased over the last month or so. I believe it has been a month, around about a month since my last one. So you have got like quite a bit of like variety like in like this video here. I've got quite a big pile of LPs, and I've also got 2 CDs, but I'm going to begin with 2 books, despite this being a vinyl update, 2 music related books I've got over the last month. So first one here is this one here, Paul Simon chord book here. As some of you know, I do play guitar a little bit. So basically this is just sort of chords to all of like the Paul Simon and Simon and Garfunkel songs, or most of them anyway. So yeah, that's just quite handy for me to have. Bit more interesting though for like many of you out there, I'm sure, would be this here, which is Pink Floyd, called Pink Floyd Treasures. And this was very cheap actually, and it is really fantastic. It basically just goes, it sort of comes out like this here. Basically just goes through like the whole career, starting out here with like the early 60s there, and then going into the sort of like the 70s stuff, and goes through each album in turn. This is like an unofficial book, mind you, and then but it's still pretty cool. Then going into stuff like The Wall and the Final Cut, and then back then like the later stuff like the Division Bell. What really made me like get this book though was these sort of like inserts here. What you get with it, you get quite a few like sort of like these little sort of replica memorabilia things here. So there's a little sort of concert poster, replica concert leaflet thing, and also little concert tickets as well. Here's one here for Pink Floyd at the Usher Hall in Edinburgh. £1.80 it cost in 1974 to go and see Pink Floyd. So it's really cool. Like you get like all like these wee like replica stuff with it, and also the poster what is in my my room now, what has been like my background, like some of like my album reviews, that also was in like this book as well, like that Pink Floyd's one there, that came with this book as well. So that really cool, like how it comes with all like this little these little like these little bits and pieces. Next I've got a couple of CDs. First one here is the archive reissue of Pipes of Peace by Paul McCartney. I was originally going to get this for Christmas, from my grandparents, but I was in Edinburgh with them, and like they just I was going to show them about what the CD was, what I wanted, and like they just said, oh, like we'll get it for you now, and like you can have it now. So I thought, oh, that's fair enough, eh? So I've got it here. So just the basic 2-disc edition here. I'm tempted now to get the box set for Pipes of Peace, because I've got the Tug of War one there, and that is absolutely amazing. And Pipes of Peace is like much like the same packaging design. So this CD is like pretty good. Like the actual packaging though, the actual album itself is one of Paul's slightly weaker albums, but I'd still like to get the box set for it though, because it does look great. And the other CD I got was this one here, which is Paul Simon live in New York City. This is pretty cool. It is a 1 CD and 2 CD and a DVD. So all like the CDs come out here. I'll just show you like one of them just now. So just like yeah, so all like individual sort of like to get the 2 CDs and DVD of a live concert from 2011, I believe, like a little booklet in like the side as well. Just really nice. Really cheap at Amazon this. I believe I got this for about £10. Fantastic little package here. Now onto the vinyl LPs now. Got quite a bit of like variety here. So basically the first 4 I think I got from when I was last down in Manchester. I decided that I would go to a slightly different record shop than like the one I would normally go to. Because a bit like out of like town though, and I went in like the shop. It was quite nice. It was quite like organised, and like they had a big sort of poster of the Beatles and the Who and the Kinks. So I thought, yeah, this is a pretty cool place. Only thing was though, they didn't have very many Beatles, Who or Kinks records, and they didn't really have that many records what I really wanted, to be honest with you. But I did feel a bit bad about like dragging like my dad like all the way out outside where like, the record shop was. So I did come out with like two items. First of it is 10cc's Greatest Hits here. I didn't really need this one here, to be honest with you. I've already got all these songs like on like the studio albums, but I suppose it's nice just to have them all in like one place on like a Greatest Hits package. If you just want to listen to the hits. So there's the label there. So that's supposed to be the Titanic, I think. There, it's a label. The other good thing about either this as well is like you may remember like my last review, my last video in fact, I think it was 10cc sheet music. I didn't give it like a completely glowing review because I felt that it had some brilliant tracks but also some filler on it as well. So it is great just to have like the hit songs or generally like as a rule like the best songs. So yeah, very good album indeed. And next today is something I probably wouldn't normally pick up, but but it was very cheap and like I just thought that I'd get it. It is called Nebworth, the concert I think it is, or no, Nebworth the album is that what it's called. And basically it is a double album from the concert, the charity concert that took place in the early 90s. Double album this as well. I'll just show one of the LPs here. So this is a double album. Record 1 isn't really anything to get too excited about. It features different artists. This album here, so Record 1 has Tears for Fears on it, Status Quo, Cliff Richard and the Shadows, and then Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin, and Genesis and Phil Collins. So not very many on Record Side 1, but I actually am like big fans of. But I know Led Zeppelin and like Phil and like Genesis are pretty good. But Record 2 is where we have like a lot of like great artists. We have Eric Clapton, that doing Sunshine of Your Love, Cream classic, one of my favourites. Dire Straits and Mark Knopfler there. They do 2 songs. Elton John, who I'm not a big fan of, but I do like some of his songs. Does Saturday Night's Alright for Fighter, which is a great song. Then Paul McCartney and Pink Floyd are also on here as well. So Record 2 is pretty much all great stuff. But Record 1 isn't too great for me. But yeah, I'm glad that I picked that one up in at the end. Next for this, so I was back in like the city centre now for these next 2 I picked up, which were Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it is what it's called here. Thing with this one though was it was in a sort of plastic sleeve like when I bought it, and like I didn't notice that there's this bit at the bottom here where it's like where's like the laminate is starting to peel away at like the bottom there, so it doesn't look very nice. Like it's not very nice, and like it's not very nice to the touch either. But the actual record itself is in fantastic shape. Here it's in amazing shape actually. So yeah, I'm pleased to haven't actually listened to this though yet. But I love the first album, and like also love like the one after this, Damn the Torpedoes. So I think that this will be a pretty this will be like a pretty great album as well. And then we also got an album what I've been looking for quite a while. It is Travelling Wilburys Volume 3 here. This is slightly rare, not too rare, but I paid a bit more than like I normally would for like a normal album. This is their second album, Volume 3, and isn't certainly not as good as like the first album. It's quite Bob Dylan heavy, quite a lot of like Dylan songs in here. I like not enough of like George and Jeff or even Tom Petty for my liking. But hey, it's still Travelling Wilburys and it's still fantastic. It does feature like a lot of great songs. Inside Out is one of my personal favourites from them. So there's the inner sleeve and the label, and there's the record and the label. The inner sleeve there features dance moves to the Wilbury twist if you want to dance along with it there. So yeah, glad we got that one finally. Next ones here are all from a record fair I was at just last week, and I didn't actually know that it wasn't actually aware that it was on. I just went into Edinburgh with my dad again just to look at just to go around some record shops. But but like, we noticed like there's record player on, so I decided to go in, and like, I'm very glad that we did find it, because I came up with a lot of great stuff here. So first two here, and first three here were all sort of like £2 finds here. So we have The Move, California Man. Mainly got this one here though, because of Jeff Lynne on it. Basically, I mean, like this picture, like on like the back here was like, I think like the last lineup of The Move, and is the first lineup of ELO. So it's a very sort of smooth transition between The Move and ELO. This features half Roy Wood songs and half Jeff Lynne songs on here. Wasn't sure, like, when I first saw the cover, which isn't the best, I thought it was actually like a budget compilation album, but it's actually on EMI Harvest Records here, and like, it does seem to be like an official release, which I found interesting. So yeah, my first album by The Move, and I'm glad I picked it up. Next one here, also from the £2 bucket, was Fleetwood Mac, Tango in the Night here. Again, I do like Fleetwood Mac quite a bit, but I'm not a mega fan. But this is quite a good album here. It does feature like a lot of songs that I am familiar with. Big Love, Everywhere, Little Lies. Yeah, there's quite a few good ones on here, like quite a few ones that are on like the Greatest Hits CD what I've got. Just quickly show this one here. There's the inner sleeve, and the record here is on Warner Brothers, I believe. There. Not in the greatest shape, this vinyl, if I'm being honest, but it was only cheap, and I'm like glad I've got it as well. It's just to add to my rather small Fleetwood Mac collection of just this album and Rumours as well. Next one here is my first album by Bob Dylan. It is Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits here. I believe this is from 1966. This is an original pressing here. Is the original inner sleeve here with Paul Simon on the back. Yeah, it is. Paul Simon on the back of it there. This isn't an original, because it features like an advertisement for There Goes Rhymin' Simon, what was 1973. So probably like an early 70s pressing of this album here. But I was fooled because it was on the original CBS label there. So sorry for that. It's not an original, like, as it turns out. Or maybe this inner sleeve could be wrong, I don't know. But yeah. Again, like, I'm not a huge on Bob Dylan, but this does feature probably like his best stuff on it. I mean, like, you have a lot of great songs, Blowing in the Wind, Mr. Tambourine Man, Like a Rolling Stone. That's a great song, and like a lot of like other great ones on here. So I'll see if I like it, and then if I do, I might consider getting some of his actual studio albums, or like the early ones, like advertised like on the back of here. Next one here, I didn't actually get this from like the record fair, like I got this from a record shop where I went to afterwards, but I just thought I'd chuck it in with these ones here. It is my first proper studio album by The Jam, and this is the album Sound Effects here. 1980 this is from. This is a French pressing, I believe, here. Says in the sleeve, and the record here is on this sort of custom Jam Sound Effects label, which is really nice. I have heard, I think I've played the first side of this, like I really liked it a lot. Jam, although they are more considered like a singles band, they did have like a lot of great albums as well, and like I really enjoyed like what I heard of this one here, so I definitely consider getting like some more like this stuff. I've heard All Mod Cons is like supposed to be like a really great album, and of course I might get like The Gift as well, what was the last one. So those are the two like I'm like looking out for now, but I really like this. Now back to the record fair. This one here was actually I was really surprised to come across this one actually. Well, it wasn't me, well, it wasn't like actually me who like came across it. Like I'd already went through this box and hadn't really seen like anything like anything like of interest. Then my dad went through like the same box, and like he found this in it, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Damn the Torpedoes, which is actually a much more difficult album than you might think to get. On eBay they tend to go for about £20 to £30. This was £6, so I was like, wow, I'm definitely getting that. I'm now I've not been like complete on like Tom Petty. Still got quite a few of like his 80s stuff to get, but I've got like all like the 70s albums now with this one here. Probably considered their best album, if I'm being honest. I'll listen to it, I enjoyed it, but I didn't think it was as good as Full Moon Fever, but there's a solo album, to be fair. It does have a lot of hits on it. Refugee is on here, Here Comes My Girl, Don't Do Me Like That, so a lot of songs that were on the Greatest Hits CD, so very glad we got this one here, an album what I've been looking for a very long time, and now very glad I finally got it. Again, now another album what I've been meaning to get for quite a while, but I was actually intended to get like a new pressing of it, but then I just sort of like that put off getting it, saw like other things what I wanted to get like more than it. But I got this record, I felt like I came across it for a very, very decent price. It is Derek and the Dominoes' Layla, Eric Clapton classic album, because I'm sure that you all know. The double album as well, all for £9. Thought it was great. So there's the back, there's the front, there's the gatefold here, and I just show one of the records here. It did say it wasn't in the greatest condition, and yeah, there are quite a few scratches on it, and yeah, there's a little scratch there, yeah, you can see. But for £9, I thought like it was like absolutely fantastic, and like it is like a great album as well. Like I had heard it before, before I went out and like got it, and like I was meaning to get it for like quite a while, but I'm now finally glad that I have it. And I believe now we're on to the final record fair find here. This is Pink Floyd, A Delicate Sound of Thunder, live album from the 1988 World Tour, I think, or like that late 80s World Tour though. The only thing this will note, it features basically the first side has Shine On You Crazy Diamond, which is a classic song, Learn to Fly, which is great as well, and then the rest of side one are all songs from A Momentary Lapse of Reason, which is an album what I'm not a big fan of. But record 2 has like all like the Pink Floyd classics on it, so that's pretty great. Just quickly show the gatefold to it there. This was cheap as well for like a Pink Floyd album, but it isn't in when like I tried to play it like on like my turntable, like it was skipping quite badly. So yeah, you can see it isn't in great shape. I should have really checked it before I decided to get it, but I mean it's just for like the collection really. The first record, like I'm never really going to play too much. The second side I might want to stick on, like if I want to hear like a bit of live Pink Floyd. But that's not really too often. But yeah, glad we got this one now. Next one up is one I think I've had for quite a while, like actually. I think I got this one shortly after my last vinyl update, which was, like as I said, like over a month ago. This is Paul McCartney album Unplugged here. Never really actually seen this in like the wild before. Seen that I go like online for about sort of £20–25. This was £20 again, like a record shop, but I don't really feel that bad for paying that much. It's numbered there, there's my number there, 69,000 and whatever it is, 69,000, oh no, 6,946 actually. That's a pretty good number actually for this. And then there's the back of it here. I believe it's just a European pressing, it wasn't made in Britain, just in plain white in the sleeve and on the sort of custom Unplugged label. This isn't the best Unplugged concert, like as like many people like have like said like in like the past. He kind of does like he does just a couple of Beatles tunes, and they're like a lot of like covers, and like some like of like his more like obscure solo songs. I believe he does 3 songs from the McCartney album on here. However, this was actually the first Unplugged album to come out from like an artist. So like that's all like the big like Unplugged albums, like all like the big Unplugged albums what many people go to like straight away, like Eric Clapton's one and like Nirvana's one. This was the first one to come out really, and I believe this was commercially successful. But it's just I think James Lack described this as like a lost opportunity, and like I think it kind of was. I mean, he could have made this like a whole lot better, I feel. On to some new vinyl I've purchased like over like the last month. First 2 here like are actually brand new albums, like would you believe, from the year 2015. Now it's not very often that I actually buy brand new releases, but first one here we have is Squeeze, From the Cradle to the Grave, or it's just called Cradle to Grave. And I wouldn't normally go for a new Squeeze album because I only really know and like the greatest hits, and I haven't got any of the other studio albums. But the reason why I decided to get this one here was for a couple of reasons. Firstly, it was featured, the music from this featured in a TV sitcom, what I've been watching, what I really liked. Like, I like the music from it, so like, as I thought, like, that's one reason to get the album. Also, it was getting like a lot of really great reviews as well, again, like the press, and like, that convinced me to give it a listen on Spotify, and I really liked it. So I liked it so much that, like, I liked it so much that I decided to get the vinyl off it here. I'll just quickly show you what it looks like here. There's a back cover there. I will say the cover is absolutely ghastly. They could have gone for a much better choice. On the inside here, it looks like this here. So it looks like a parody of Abbey Road almost on the inside there, the band crossing over the, it looks like a level crossing there. Just show one of the inner sleeves here, but I believe they're both pretty much the same. Did come with a download card, but I have already downloaded it. They're quite nice design to this actually, lyrics on the back. And the record labels like this here. This is a double album, well, I say it's a double album, and the actual proper studio album runs over 3 sides of vinyl, and then the 4th side is a collection of bonus tracks. So I believe they do like a couple of covers on it, and maybe a couple of like other bonus tracks that they didn't put on the album in the end. This is really good actually, like I must like recommend this. Kind of like a concept album, like in like a way, so it goes through like quite like autobiographical as well, sort of going through like from like when he was like a young boy to like when he was a bit older and like playing like in like a band. Basically like a bit more, basically like a happy versions of Pink Floyd The Wall almost. Like in a way like growing up and everything like that. Yeah, because then like after listening to this, I actually read a bit more about like the background and like the hype to the album, and like Glenn Tilbrook and Chris Difford, who like the two like main members of Squeeze, and they were saying that they think that this is like the best album, and like certainly like the most cohesive is like I think is like the wording what they use, and like I really like have to like well, I can't like agree because I haven't heard like any of like Squeeze's like other albums, but this certainly was really fantastic stuff. Next one up here is Paul Weller and his latest album. This isn't really like brand new though, it came out in May this year. It is Saturn's Pattern here. Mainly got this one here. Firstly, I've been getting into the Jam and the Style Council, and I like a little bit of like a solo stuff as well. I like, and I can also Ben Simpson, when he done his response to James Lobben's contest. I think it was a contest, back of like picking like your best album off like this year so far. Ben picked this album, Saturn's Pattern, so that convinced me to go out and get it. And like also, when James Lobben picked it up, he said that it was fantastic as well. And like I listened to it like on Spotify, and I really liked it. Quite experimental, quite different from a lot of like his other solo stuff that I'm used to hearing. And the packaging to this is really nice as well. Comes with a nice booklet here, but I'll just quickly flip through here. So lyrics and some lovely pictures, stuff, yeah. So that's nice. And then the actual album itself comes out of here. Well, this one also came with a download card, and what I've downloaded. And this nice inner sleeve there, and the record here. Nice. It's on. I find it amusing like how it's on Parlophone Records. They're the exact same sort of like replica label of like what the Beatles used, which is pretty cool. Like to see like on like a brand new album. So so I'd have to like recommend this one here. It is different to like the Jam and like his other solo stuff, but I really like it. And now last two things here I'm going to show are both they're both like new vinyls, but the reissues of like older albums. First one here is The Kinks and Face to Face here. Originals of this go for absolutely daft money. I mean, I think I saw like an original stereo like in like a record shop for about £60. I mean, I'm not like even like the condition of that wasn't fantastic. But I got this one here for about £10 like on like eBay. Really good. And this is also on nice red vinyl as well, which is pretty nice. I mean, look at that lovely red vinyl on really heavy 180 gram vinyl. This is a great album as well, 1966 release. sort of like a concept album, a bit sort of like all the songs are sort of about different people and like sort of like social commentary and like different people's lives and like stuff like that. I mean, you've got like songs like Sunny Afternoon on here and Party Line, Dandy. So yeah, I haven't like properly listened to this yet, but it is an album what I would like to review like fairly soon. So I'm glad I have got it. I have kept the shrink wrap on this one as well, because I do like to keep the shrink wrap on albums what don't have gatefolds and stuff. So I can just get the record out like that. And final thing is an album what many of you might find hard to believe that I haven't actually got a copy of it until now. It is John Lennon's first album, Plastic Ono Band. So when the Lennon vinyl box set was announced, I thought, right, I'm gonna get this album as soon as it comes out, because it came out back in June. But then they announced that like the single vinyls wouldn't come out until August. By which point, there was other stuff I was wanting to get, namely the McCartney Tug of War box set and like a couple of other things as well. So I've had to wait to get this one, but I'm very glad I've got it. Really nice to have like a beautiful, pristine copy of it. Because you see this at record fairs, like every time you go, they're asking normally about £15 to £25 for it, and like they're normally not in like that great a shape. This is like the nice replica like in a sleeve. On most copies of this, it's all like it's really thin and like it's all been like miscoloured. But this is lovely and brilliant 180 gram vinyl as well. This is an absolutely fantastic pressing. I really can't fault it at all. So I hope you have enjoyed this vinyl update. Here, as always, if there's any of the albums I've shown you'd like me to maybe review in the future, please leave them in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.